Hello, everyone. It is Andrea. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to wherever you are. Ever feel like you're working harder than your boss, harder than your family members, harder than your colleagues? Why is that? Because you have a passion and a way to persevere and produce products, results, and you do not have poor work ethics. Work ethics meaning to the ability to achieve a task from beginning to end. The communication skills to understand and really reflect on what it is that has to be completed. Discipline. Discipline to have the awareness that you have a deadline that you have to uphold, you're accountable to yourself, and you're maintaining responsibility in getting everything that you need to achieve alongside with the tools, skills, talents, and collaborators to make sure it happens. Sometimes that's not able to be taught. Sometimes that's not able to be learned. But there is a way to manage your time effectively because everybody understands this phrase, time is money. Although money is not everything, it's about the mission and message that you're conveying. It is important that you parallel money to results and productivity. Every time you have a success, celebrate your wins. Every time you make a milestone, make sure that you understand what it took to get there. You know, we don't walk before we crawl as we're human beings. And a lot of times we forget that as we go older. We just want to get the job done and get on to the next task. How do I stay productive? But when in reality, we are staying busy. It's all about the mindset. It's all about the awareness, understanding our skill, tactics, gifts, and talents that we possess, and find the areas of improvement where we need to make the adjustments. Many times it could be utilizing a stopwatch. Another time it could be utilizing a checklist. Another time is having someone in your office or in your family holding you accountable. But if you don't have any of those, I am here and ready to connect. I show up. I make sure that the task gets done from beginning to end. And at times, I am human. I will make human errors. I may make a mistake. I may fall short somewhere, but I don't harden myself on that. What do I mean by that? We are our own worst critics. And when we get in that downward spiral thinking we're not headed towards success, that's when we have self-doubt. And that is something that I want to prevent each and every one of you experiencing. I've had my fair share times of self-doubt, when in reality it was a false belief that was set into my subconscious and then paralleled with my ego, which always said I was never good enough. I couldn't do it. It was impossible. And that I didn't have the skill set or talent. And I remember this quote that Confucius says, all that I know is that I know nothing. And I remember that from a video compilation that I've watched of best motivational speakers. And the individual who referenced that quote said, if the greats are saying that, then how could we expect to be perfect? And that's something that I want to alter in today's society, world perspective, and our own inner assessment of ourselves. Nobody is perfect. We aim towards progression and succession, because if we aim for perfection, then we disappoint ourselves every time. How many times have you offered to mentor, coach, or teach a young child and they want to get it immediately, that instant gratification, that immediate response, and then they get frustrated when it doesn't happen? I know that too well because I was that child. I always wanted to learn something and figured that as soon as I learned it, I would master it. But unbeknownst to me, it took forever because it was the practice, the perseverance, the pressure, the patience that it would happen. And things happen for a reason during the right season, and timing is everything. Sometimes we want something at a certain time when we feel deserving of it. But unfortunately, the higher power and forces and our Creator might feel otherwise. So don't get discouraged when we aren't able to achieve something the first time round, because there might be an underlying thread or underlying meaning that it may not be your time. You have to learn something else before you can achieve it. And that's where the frustration is. So many times we quit on the 1 yard line, and then just to look back in hindsight, when we do master it, there was only one more step. So work on your patience, work on your passions, work on being observant of your strengths and skill sets, and link up with those whose skill sets and strengths are your areas of weakness. I remember it's very important to always be the weakest link, because then you can always aim higher and challenge yourself. And if you're around the right like-minded people, quality people, as Mr. Brown would say, then there's no room for error. You can always learn. And every single day we are learning. And every day we want to make sure that we don't repeat the mistakes that we have already done. And if we did, not to be hard on ourselves, but to work a little bit harder, persevere a little bit more, and have patience that in due time it will happen. This is all part of the process of life. When we stop focusing on the end result, when we stop focusing on the innuendos and the concrete items, we just embrace and trust the process and enjoy the journey. And that's when miracles are made, and that's when the magic happens. We have to learn how to have patience. We have to understand that everybody learns differently, everybody speaks differently, everybody's at a different road path in their lives. And they might not experience it the same way we do. And they may not have the patience, they may not have the insight, and they might not be ready. We have to understand and accept that. Because the only person we can control and should control is that of ourselves. And that is really important in every realm of life, that the only outcomes and results that are made are the ones that we create. We can't change other people, nor do we have the right. And I want you to take this to heart. Really understand that there's no such thing as perfection, just progression and succession. And that with every single step that you take, it's a choice. It's an experience. One to learn from, one to teach, and one to lead. And it's important that you remember that in everything you do. We didn't get to where we are in a blink of an eye. We had to go through so many experiences, good, bad, and indifferent. And some of us are ready to prevail and thrive, where others of us still need that nudge. But in the end, it is your story. And only you can write the ending. But make sure you enjoy it and embrace it and be present. For your presence is the gift to others. So don't forget that. As I appreciate each and every one of you out there listening, I know there's a piece of me in you and a piece of you in me, because we are all made by the same Creator, but we all have differences. And as I mentioned in another video, our differences is what makes us special, which makes us authentic. So don't be hard on yourself, but just remember, everything is a process. And once you trust the process, and be patient with the process, you'll be excited and proud of all that you've created. I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. My name is Andrea Mason, your Certified Global Motivational Speaker and Coach, the Global Voice, under Mr. Les Brown as my mentor, and your innovator and creator of the life transformational journey called Press Play. Plan life according to you. In this crazy game of life, remember to follow your heart and not the herd, nor the hurt, for on the other side is personal freedom, happiness, joy, and a life you deserve. Thank you. Bringing you daily content, and I'll see you in the next video. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be well.